Is preparing to say goodbye. A behind-the-scenes look at graduation day ahead.
How the town of Elon is working to bring in business before students leave for the summer.
4 campus facilities are undergoing summer renovations. What to expect when students return in the fall.
All those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for the final Elon Local News of the school year. I'm Brian Ray.
And I'm Maeve Ashbrook. The town of Elon is planning to discuss a new anti-discrimination ordinance at its town hall tomorrow, and the Student Government Association is working to weigh in. The ordinance would not allow businesses in the town to discriminate against people based on identity. SGA Executive President Jack Corby says he plans to attend the meeting to share SGA's stance on anti-discrimination laws on behalf of students. Last Thursday, SGA reaffirmed previous legislation on the topic in support of a possible town ordinance, but Senator Ryan Lockwood, the only senator who voted against the legislation, says taking a stance on the issue is too political for SGA.
By making a political statement on a bill in North Carolina that is no longer in effect, SGA is taking a political stance that may not necessarily represent the views of all Elon students, and definitely does not follow the nonpartisan structure of SGA.
SGA Executive Secretary Haley Juergens says at the end of the day, the resolution passed, and Lockwood's vote will not affect any plans moving forward. But she says the purpose of SGA is to hear multiple opinions.
There's a population on campus that probably doesn't support that, and that's what senators, we ask them to do, is to represent the student body and to represent their constituents. So that specific senator voted no. I couldn't tell you why, but there is a percentage of people who probably don't support everything that we do.
As the town of Elon plans to discuss its ordinance tomorrow, Juergens says SGA hopes the Board of Aldermen will take its stance into account, as Elon students are truly a part of the Elon community.
Now to an ENN alert. Elon Dining is considering closing Payway as the Asian fusion retail space is, quote, underperforming. Sources tell us that a committee is reviewing options for the space. We spoke with students about their thoughts on Payway potentially leaving and what it could be replaced with.
I'm big on Asian fusion and hibachi.
Their food is repetitive, like I just get the same thing over and over and then I'm sick of it.
I'm a vegetarian, so
I go to Payway once a week, if not twice a week. I get the same order every single time. I get the orange chicken, white rice. That is what I get from Payway. Have I ever seen orange chicken in any of the other dining halls? Maybe. But am I going to miss Payway if it goes away? Absolutely.
I think that we could use like a burger joint.
I know we used to have a Chick-fil-A. I don't know, their political views are a little iffy. I don't know if I support them, but they have good waffle fries.
Whatever needs to be replaced needs to be a cheaper price.
A final decision will be made over the summer.
We are just 11 days away from graduation, and the deadline for seniors to pick up their 2 guest tickets is 5 p.m. tomorrow. As we approach the big day, here are some logistics to take note of. There are no scheduled road closures at this time. Staff believe that Schar Center parking lot will be sufficient enough for students and their guests. Commencement is being separated into 3 ceremonies based on school of major to limit mass groups of students walking together and ensure guests can be safely seated together in pairs. Each ceremony will be 90 minutes long with no processional to allow for sanitation between each session. And for those at home, the full day will be live streamed on the university website at elon.edu/live.
Commencement did not always look like this, though, when the planning process began in the fall. Our Ashlyn DeLoey has more.
On Friday, May 21st, Elon graduates will walk across the Schar Center stage to receive their diplomas. But this year, there will not be the traditional handshake from President Connie Book, among many other ceremonial changes. Commencement planning began last semester. Executive Director of Cultural and Special Programs Jeffrey Clark and Vice President for Strategic Initiatives Jeff Stein regularly met with SGA senior class officers to weigh their options.
The university's determination to do everything we can to give the students a proper ending of their degree here at Elon.
The uncertainties of the pandemic caused those involved to plan for many different scenarios. SGA Senior Class President Jessica Flaxenberg says earlier versions of the commencement ceremony were virtual and much smaller.
I honestly was not confident that we were going to have an in-person ceremony until spring semester. I was pretty convinced that it was going to have to be fully online.
Planning officially took off in mid-March when senior class interests were surveyed. Vaccine distribution made it feasible for the team to seriously consider and plan for a bigger in-person ceremony.
I think what the seniors were saying and what we were saying were very much in line with each other from the beginning.
With many changes, one Elon tradition remains. Graduates will receive their sapling either as they walk off the stage or as they exit Schar Center to officially mark the end of their 4-year journey at Elon.
To be able to give people an in-person ceremony where they're able to celebrate their accomplishments just means the world.
Ashlyn Delowy, Elon Local News.
As of today, Elon has conducted 95,413 COVID-19 tests since January, with 463 positive results. That's a 0.49% positivity rate. Currently, we're seeing one of the lowest impacts of COVID-19 on campus this year, as there is currently 1 active case among students and 2 individuals in isolation.
Joining us now live in studio to discuss the Ready and Resilient Committee's year in review is Committee Chair Jeff Stein. Dr. Stein, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for including me, your final show of the year. Certainly, congratulations to you all for all that you and all of ENN has done this year. We've certainly depended on you for news and information about COVID and beyond. So our thanks to you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. So our first question, now we've had a few stories about graduation in our newscast tonight. So how are you and the rest of the committee preparing for the influx of visitors that are about to come to campus?
Great question. We are trying to make sure that families are thinking about this before they come. And so hopefully folks are either getting vaccinated or they're getting tested right before they come. We've also sort of condensed the week, or compressed it, I guess I would say, a little bit. Still lots of activities, but not stretching as long, and not really as many opportunities for all the families to get together at one time, trying to keep people apart to some extent.
Moving into the Ready and Resilient year in review, what do you think was the committee's biggest accomplishment and biggest mistake this year?
We learned a lot this year. This was all new, so everything we were doing, it was like creating a brand new university. I think one of the things that I take away from this year is that we as a community can do tremendous things together, right? So what I take away is we managed to bring everybody together to take on this challenge that we couldn't imagine. I think at different times on the weakness side, at different times it was easy to forget that every single individual is coming at this differently, from a different background with different needs. And when you're moving quickly, it's easy to create a policy or a plan that doesn't meet everybody's needs. And you saw us make those mistakes during the year, and I think we got good feedback from the community about changing some of those things.
Yeah, so looking ahead at the fall, what do you expect in terms of, mask wearing, in-person classes, maybe potentially requiring vaccines?
Yes, so first, we're really excited. If you guys were returning, hopefully you'd be nodding your heads about the fact that we're going to be in person again. We were only one of maybe 20% of colleges and universities in the country that was in person all year. So we're excited about being able to be back in person with eased restrictions. So I expect we'll still have vaccines and testing, and we will have masking in at least public areas, probably in classrooms. Distancing, we're hearing from the scientists and from research, is less important, so that should be able to be closed up a little bit. Ventilation still really important. But one change that we'll be able to make that we're excited about is every class will be able to have the full roster in one room. What does that mean? It means that no more hybrid classes, and we'll be able to have lots of other events on campus because we'll have spaces for those. So students can plan events and have meetings and that sort of thing. But also, we know those will be safe, right? So that's a big change as well. You asked about vaccines, so I want to be direct and actually answer that. 2 pieces there. One is the numbers as of this afternoon. The undergraduates are leading the way with about 79% of undergraduates having at least 1 dose of the vaccine. and 77% of the whole campus. Now, if you control for and remove those who are working or studying remotely or studying abroad, those numbers go up. Actually, this afternoon we went up to about 83% of the undergraduate population and 81% of the whole campus. So R&R did make a recommendation recently, last week, to the campus that we go ahead and do everything we can to get everybody vaccinated. The university is going to have to mull over that in the next couple weeks, do some research. There are some lawsuits out there that you've probably heard about. We're not there yet, but we will make a decision in the summer, in the coming weeks, with plenty of time for people to plan.
And then what do you see the role of the Ready and Resilient Committee being this next year?
We're going to take a nap. No. Everybody on campus is tired and not just ready and resilient. You know, one of the things I would encourage everyone to do this summer is really take a break. We've never lived through something like this, and the toll on everyone is tremendous. But I think R&R will still be in the background. We'll still be meeting, trying to make sure that if there's any kind of surge, we're ready. But hopefully pulling back from people's everyday lives and everyday emails and that sort of thing.
All right, Jeff Stein, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. It's been 1 year of remote and hybrid learning for students and teachers in the Alamance-Burlington school system, and one middle school teacher is reflecting on a unique year of teaching. Social studies teacher Derek Tang is the digital lead for his school, where he helps other teachers troubleshoot technology problems. With the added technological challenges, Tang says lesson planning has been the most demanding part of the job this year.
I feel like the planning process has demanded more of me, of us as teachers in general this year. But I know for a fact that a number of my colleagues who are not as tech savvy it's been a sharp adjustment.
Tang says his biggest challenge for the spring has been balancing students who are in class and those who are remote. He says he's seen increased engagement since students returned to the classroom this spring, but he's worried about what information they're retaining.
From last year, and what are they going to retain from this year moving forward? And that's one of those things that's not really going to be able to be answered until we look at it, until we look at this next May or a couple of years from now.
ABSS is planning to offer a virtual school option for students this fall. If they choose this option, though, they will not be allowed to change to in-person classes.
As businesses prepare for students to depart for the summer, these last 2 weeks are more important than ever to drive that final push in sales. Our Baylor Rodman spoke with one owner about the hurdle ahead.
Last month, we sat down with general manager and partner of the Root and Tangent, Quinn Ray, as the Root became the latest downtown restaurant to open its doors to the public. But now Elon businesses face a different hurdle. As coronavirus restrictions loosen, in a matter of weeks, the campus community will leave for the summer, bringing another wave of slow sales.
We get 8 to 9 months out of the year to prepare for 4 months where there isn't students.
Ray serves as an Elon Board of Aldermen member. Elected in November 2019, sworn in December, with his first meeting in January of 2020, Ray was just weeks into the job when the coronavirus hit.
Man, what a juggle, because you're trying to get the restaurants and your businesses to survive and figure out how to judge and just live. But then now I'm also responsible for a town and a whole community to try to make sure everything is going smooth and everybody's getting the best care they can get.
While he wasn't expecting to have to deal with a pandemic when running his campaign, from an alderman and business standpoint, Ray says he's got a good grasp on what's around him.
We have a great downtown business group where we all bounce ideas off of each other and figure things out, and it also helps for me to be able to bring that to the board, right?
From town hall to Tangent, Ray says people have been courteous.
People are understanding that we can't pack the restaurant out, so it's really nice to see that our community is willing to work together and have patience with each other as we navigate this new norm.
Baylor Rodman, Elon Local News.
Tangent is planning to reopen indoor dining as well when state-mandated capacity limits rise. Ray says the goal is for the restaurants to be somewhat back to normal when students return in August.
We've seen the sun, we've seen the clouds, we've seen the rain today, but will this wacky weather continue during this first week of finals? I'll have your Phoenix 5-day forecast coming up.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Changes are coming to campus this summer as 4 facilities are undergoing renovations, including Smith Residence Hall and the second floor of the Mosley Student Center. University architect Brad Moore says the renovations in upstairs Mosley are intended to make student spaces easier to navigate and more user-friendly.
So you'll come to the top of the stairs and it'll be much more open as far as the hallways. They won't sort of sneak around as they currently do. They'll be much more straight corridors, but there'll be student gathering spaces sort of dotted all along those hallways.
Moore says the biggest change coming to Smith Hall is renovating the bathrooms, which will still be communal with individual stalls similar to those in the East neighborhood.
I think it'll be a lot better situation for the students, going to the bathroom, showering. We're also adding some sinks on the hallways so that if you just need to brush your teeth or grab some water to make tea or something, you don't have to find an open bathing compartment.
El Centro de Español, located in the Carlton building, is also scheduled to undergo renovations this summer, and a new esports facility is planned to be built inside the Global Commons. For the weather ahead now, we go outside to Citroen Plaza, where our Jack Norcross joins us live.
Jack, good evening to you.
Good evening, Brian and Maeve. A pleasure to be with you today, and what is turning out to be a pretty nice evening, but that was not the case earlier today. Let's take a look at some video earlier. The clouds really started to roll in around 3 o'clock, and then it seemed like the heavens opened up and the rain came down. There was a severe thunderstorm warning for a period that expired at 4:30 p.m., fortunately, and then we even had a tornado warning at one portion. But good news is that this doesn't look like it will continue on for the rest of the week as we head into your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, your final day of classes, we're looking at a high of 67, a low of 50 with clouds and sun. We're going to see some occasional rain in the evening, and then that'll kind of pick up again in the morning on Wednesday morning, reading day. We'll see some morning showers, high of 63, low of 44. cooler evening, 44. It's like unheard of in May. Moving into Thursday, high of 67, low of 46. And then Friday and Saturday, we're going to see some temperatures in the 70s. Should be nice. You should be able to catch a flight if you're headed home. If you're looking to enjoy your final weekend here, that all works as well. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure serving the Elon community over these past few years here. But for the final time, I'm Jack Norcross, live on Centrum Plaza this morning. Have a good night.
Jack, thank you.
And coming up, taking care of yourself, ways you can help your well-being during this Mental Health Awareness Month.
Page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Or maybe it was a semi. You mean you were driving? Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and one student says there is a lack of awareness on the topic. Anne-Marie Bonner has more.
Sophomore Julia Veed did not know she was experiencing mental health issues until she came to college.
Like nobody knew like how people can struggle in many different ways, and like just not necessarily having like my parents like they like helped me through some stuff, but like they didn't understand it either.
Veed says that when she came to college, she realized there is a stigma about mental health. She has even experienced this in the classroom, trying to open up to professors saying she was having a hard time, only to be told she couldn't get an extension.
I was like, it made me more stressed out just because I was like I was trying to like open up more and just be like, I'm struggling right now, but it like just getting it pushed off just felt like my feelings like weren't validated or like that they just didn't care.
Assistant professor of psychology, Mila Titova, has focused her research on improving student mental well-being and happiness. Her recommendation for professors is not to take the approach that students could be lying to get out of schoolwork.
There might be students who are not, and they really need this help, and it's really could be something helpful for them. So I think that I'd rather have, some students kind of, take advantage of the situation rather than a student who's really struggling not necessarily get the help that they need.
Anne-Marie Bonner, Elon Local News.
Veed says the lack of in-person counseling is also something she struggles with. For those like her who want help, you can make an appointment by calling 336-278-7280.
Coming up, we pay tribute to the seniors from our newsroom as they prepare to embark on their future endeavors. Join us for the special moment after the break.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Finally tonight, not only is this the last ELN broadcast of the semester, but it is also the last show for our seniors. In these past 4 years, these seniors have helped put out nearly 200 live broadcasts, 100 pendulums, and thousands of stories for our website. From producing to directing to reporting, these seniors have made this organization and this campus a better place. To give them a proper send-off, Rich, our advisor and our just fell.
Yeah, I'm Rich Landsberg, and I'm a senior, but not in the same way. And it's always just a great privilege and an honor to spend the last couple of minutes of our last show of the year talking about people that I've known for 4 years and have worked closely with, people who've gone from being my students to being my friends. And I just want to call each of them out by name. Start with Grace Terry, who just did a magnificent job on The Pendulum as our editor. There were times when it was difficult to find staff to do things, so you did it yourself, and I always appreciated that. Sophie Ortiz, who I've known since she walked in the door, and has kept us running, literally kept us running as she did a lot of our production over the years. Courtney Weiner, my friend, who is going on to graduate school after this at Columbia. We're all very, very proud of you for that. And also was one of our great producer. Isabella Seaman, who has anchored for us, has done packages for us, has done everything, but including get hit in the head in volleyball for us, has just done a magnificent job of keeping us together. Brian Ray, where's Brian, my friend?
Right here.
Our anchor, and literally our anchor. You kept us together. You kept everything solid. We're all proud of you and all the work you've done, and I know you're going to go on to a great career as a reporter. Christian Galvano. Hi, hiding back there, already has a job as a producer down in Charleston. Worked hard. We traveled together a number of different places, overseas and domestically, and just saw tremendous growth and just great stuff from you. Am I missing anyone? Oh, wait a minute. There's Jack Norcross. Jack is the rare triple play individual. He did production. He did reporting. He was our weather guy today, and he led our organization. He kept it all together. Thank you all, seniors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Virtual hug. Virtual hug.
And that is all the news we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for tuning in for the last Elon Local News of the year and for me. Thank you so much.